Hello, welcome to episode 30 of the Daily Disney Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, we're going to continue our tour around the Magic Kingdom, and we're going to stop at Liberty Square. Liberty Square is kind of to the back left, about 10 o'clock, if you're standing right in the middle of the park where the partner statue is. And directly to your left is Adventureland, and kind of past you is Frontierland, and to your right is Fantasyland. But Liberty Square is one of those that sometimes gets overlooked. And today we're going to talk about 3 attractions, and then we're going to touch on 3 dining areas, restaurants, and then kind of give it an overall grade, what we think of the land itself. So let's get started. The first attraction we're going to talk about is the Hall of Presidents. So, the Hall of Presidents is not exactly the most exciting attraction at Disney, but it is very, very, very historic. It is a multimedia presentation, has a bunch of audio animatronics of all of the presidents, all 45 individuals. It opened October 1st, 1971. An opening day attraction, and really there are all kinds of different changes that were made, but really this is where an attraction called One Nation Under God had originally been planned to be there. That is in Disneyland. They're going to bring it here, but it got changed a little bit. Disney also wanted to have great moments with Mr. Lincoln, but ultimately it got changed, and now we have the Hall of Presidents. And with this, it is basically a sit-down show, 25 minutes long, 700 people can fit in the audience, which is huge, and it really goes through and lets the audience know kind of the history of America. There have been different people to really give more longer speeches, I guess, than others. We have narrators. That narrator's changed a few times. Morgan Freeman was actually a narrator for 8 years, from 2009 to 2017. But George Washington, Ben Franklin, Andrew Jackson, Stephen Douglas, Abe Lincoln, and then the president. Those are really the people that go in and actually talk. One thing that's interesting, every sitting president since Bill Clinton has recorded their own remarks except Joe Biden, which is weird. Let's see here. The one thing about what's happening now in this current state is that Joe Biden takes the oath of office after George Washington gives a speech. He does not have any follow-up remarks, which is new. Most of the current presidents do have follow-up remarks. So, Hall of Presidents, 25 minutes long. You sit there, you learn about a bunch of things with America, about the presidents. It's very fascinating. It can be boring. A lot of people think this is the time where you go get your nap in. But it is something that is, it's remotely interesting, and it's kind of fun. And, is it a must-see every time? Maybe not, but is it one that you see a lot and experience? For sure. Especially on a hot day. It's a great time to come inside and learn about America and cool off. So the second attraction we're going to talk about in Liberty Square is the Liberty Belle Riverboat. So the Liberty Belle Riverboat is at the Rivers of America. It was originally named after a Disney executive. It used to be called the Richard F. Fine Riverboat. It is an authentic steam-powered steam wheeler. Opened in 1973. It was renamed in 1996. They called it a D-ticket attraction, which not much thrill at all, as you know. Basically, really, it the boat itself is very, very beautiful, right? It's very large. It's awesome. Everybody's seen this. It's been updated a few times. New paint, new railings, new things like that. Basically, it is a ride. What are we looking at? It says about 8 minutes. I think it's a little bit longer than that. But it takes you around the rivers of America at Disney World. You got a great kind of go back and forth with Mark Twain and the captain, and different spiels like that. So it's a really fun attraction. You get some great views. You get to look and see kind of around the park a little bit. It's exciting. I shouldn't say that. It's not exciting, but it's pretty fun. It's an interesting thing to get on. And again, the views can't be beat. And it's a great attraction to go, get out of the sun. You can sit down. You can stand on a railing and just enjoy the river air through your hair. So those are the first two attractions. But most people are looking forward to the last attraction in the area, and the picture I'm showing is of a line, but it's the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion is one of, if not the best rides at Walt Disney World. It opened 1971, 50 years ago. It was an original opening day attraction. It's a dark ride. You go through and you visit all 999 happy haunts. It's an omni-mover vehicle called a Doom Buggy, and a walkthrough at the beginning of the show that was closed for a while due to Uncle COVID, but now it's back, and you can experience all the gags and everything. There are tons of audio animatronics throughout. There are different versions of this named different places, but we're talking about the Disney World one, right? So the idea of a mansion precedes Disneyland, dating back to when Walt Disney hired Imagineers the very first time. At the time, the park they were developing the attraction for was supposed to be located across the studios. In 1951, the first known illustration of the park showed a Main Street setting with green fields, Western Village, and a carnival. There was supposed to be this whole little area for the Haunted Mansion. They basically rejected, and really ultimately they wanted it to be kind of this run-down, true haunted house. It was going to be a walkthrough, and different things were talked about, and all kinds of different ideas. So basically, they scrapped that, and there you go. Let's see here. Okay, so it opened over in Disney World or Disneyland, all these different changes made, and then it came over to Disney World. Basically, what you do is, as you know, you take your Doom Buggy and you go through the Haunted Mansion. You don't walk through it. You don't have interaction, anything like this. You don't go through a field. You don't do all these wax. There's all this stuff, all this fact that what was thought about and what was discussed and what actually happened, they're two different things. At the end of the day, we've got the Haunted Mansion at Disney World with an amazing looking building. The queue is very interesting. It's very interactive. It winds and goes, seems like forever. But ultimately, this is a fantastic fun dark ride. A couple things that have been updated here. Let's take a look here. It was an opening day attraction, and it's still part of Liberty Square. During the production and assembly, the props and animatronics for Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, duplicates of everything were made for Walt Disney World. It's decided that the Florida version of the attraction will be slightly longer and more elaborate than the California counterpart. more ghost stories, more marble busts, a few things like that. There was a music room added where the shadow of an invisible pianist would be seen in the floor and an endless staircase. There were additional voiceovers, including your ghost hosts. And there was more space here, obviously, so the show building could be much larger and not compacted what they had at Disneyland. When passing the graveyard gates in line, 6 head busts, 2 on one stand, that contain the Dread family, a family that killed each other for wealth. That's an interesting thing that's in Florida, but not in California. There's a whole little story about that and everything like that. But really, the Haunted Mansion is one where you need to experience it. I can't sit here and say, "Oh my gosh, this scene is great." They have a Pepper's Ghost effect where the animatronics are really on the floor, but they're shot up through a special effect and a mirror and all kinds of different things like that. But at the end of the day, the Haunted Mansion is the main attraction in Liberty Square. It's one of the main attractions in the park. I mean, I can go through and tell you 10 different scenes that I absolutely love. The last one where you're zooming around there and it looks like they say a ghost will follow you home. And then there's a special effect where you see a ghost sitting on your head, sitting with you, anything like that. The special effects are top notch. They have overlays that I don't think they did that this year, but they've done it before. They've done overlays for Christmas and for different things like that. But ultimately, the Haunted Mansion is the best attraction in the area. It is one of the best attractions in the park, and it is something we definitely have to think about. When you go to Liberty Square, you have to get on the Haunted Mansion. It is amazing. It's the best, and I like it. I like it a lot. So now let's go over and talk a little bit about the food over at Liberty Square. The first thing we're going to talk about is the Liberty Tree Tavern. And, it's one of those where, and I can put pictures up of the food and everything like that. It's not anything that you have never seen before, but it's Liberty Tree Tavern's one of those where a lot of people go. There we go. There it worked, and on the Disney site it says, "Pay tribute to our founding fathers as you dine in this stately colonial style inn serving traditional New England inspired fare." So we've been there a few times, and now this is not talking about all the changes and everything that have made with COVID. There's so many things that have happened, but really, when you look at the Liberty Tree Tavern for lunch, they've basically changed things, so now it's an all you care to enjoy. You get a platter with roast turkey. It's almost like your roast beef. It's almost like your Thanksgiving meal. And this has changed totally since when we were there just a few years ago. And I know it's because of COVID and everything, but right now you sit down and you have all you care to enjoy. You have salad, you have toffee cake at the end, and then you've got turkey, pot roast, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, everything like that. So you've truly got your kind of Thanksgiving dinner type feel there with the Liberty Tavern. Is it the best food you're going to have? No. Is it okay? Sure. Sure, it's fine. My question is, that's a lot of food when it's really hot outside to be kind of sitting in your stomach. But anyway, the next one, we already talked about this one before, but let's talk about it again, the Diamond Horseshoe. It's an Old West music hall. The music is back, I heard. You have an all-you-care-to-enjoy holiday-inspired dinner. So at the Diamond Horseshoe, you do have that, basically the exact same meal that you have at the Liberty Tavern. And I think that is on purpose right now because of COVID and employees and everything like that. So we're not going to touch on it much, but basically those are exactly the same. The Columbia Harbor House is going to be the last one that we talk about here. And The Columbia Harbor House is one that I have actually experienced this one, and I never got that, but that's their main picture. Delicious seafood, New England inspired favorites as you dine in cozy seafaring setting. So we went here once. It was fantastic. Had upstairs, kind of to ourselves. We sat over there, enjoyed it. It was great. It was fun. We got different things that we're not really technically that seafood-ish, kind of just normal-ish food. The menu's changed, and now it's basically all seafood. So we would not really enjoy it that much, but it is something where if you do like seafood, you need to check it out. You need to experience it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people go there every single time. So for me, the dining in Liberty Square is a little bit not much desirable for me, really, because I'm not going to sit there and have my Thanksgiving feast as I'm walking around the park when it's 1,000 degrees. I don't like seafood, so I'm not going to sit there and eat that anymore. Everything's changed over the last 2 years, right? Everything. So you can sit there and say, oh, why don't they have the chicken fingers? Why don't they have this or that? Well, this is what they got, and you have to deal with it. So the dining, I don't think is very good here. They do have a few different things here with, let me take a look at something here real quick. So the dining itself, where you're actually sitting down and eating, I'm not a big fan of. But the other place that would pique my interest is Sleepy Hollow. We talked about this before. It's a nice little brick building by Cinderella's Castle. You can get a waffle sandwich, funnel cakes. You get strawberries on there, whipped cream on there, all kinds of different things. So now this is right up my alley because I'm more of a snack guy, especially at the parks. So I would just pick up even if it's a waffle sandwich, we talked about this before when my friends recommended this: strawberries, bananas, blueberries, hazelnut spread, which is Nutella, and a waffle. Let's go. Mickey waffle, waffle with powdered sugar. They just have funnel cakes, all the different drinks you need. That's the place that I would go. So Sleepy Hollow to the rescue. That plus the attractions. This is the desirable area to go, but we're not going on Hall of Presidents every single ride or every single trip. We're not going on the Liberty Belle unless we're walking by and it's there, getting ready to leave. We do go to the Haunted Mansion numerous times, so that elevates it. We're not going to eat at any of these restaurants, but we will go to Sleepy Hollow. So what do? C plus? B minus? Probably B minus. If there was no Haunted Mansion, this would be a dud. Wouldn't even stop at this area of the park. You just walk through to get to Fantasyland. But you do stop at Haunted Mansion. You do go into that gift shop right there. And you do go to Sleepy Hollow. So let me know. What do you think? What's your grade for Liberty Square? Is it interesting? I hate to rip the Liberty Belle and the Hall of Presidents because they've been there forever. They're so historic, but we're not going on either of those, really. They're just not anything that we go on time after time. Haunted Mansion, of course. And we're going 2 to 3 to 4 times on that ride. It's awesome. I cannot tell you how great it is, how much I love it, and how fun it is. So I'm going to go C+. That's going to be the final grade for Liberty Square. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think. And also, be sure to follow us. We are at Daily Disney Pod on the Twitter. Also, check us out on the YouTube at Daily Disney Podcast. And then also on all your favorite podcast outlets. Make sure you like and subscribe and continue to be part of the show. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.